What's up guys, Mike here, and a long time ago at this point, I did 5 NBA records that will never be broke. That was definitely at the beginning of my whole YouTube career, I guess if you want to say. So I thought it would be cool to go back and take this video a step further. So today we are going to be doing 7 NBA records that will never be broken. Of course, we are not repeating any of the first 5 I did. If you want to watch that video, link will be in the description. For now, let's jump in with number 7, minutes in a regular season game. On November 9th, 1989 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the temperature suddenly dropped from 30 degrees to 0 as snowfall rained down in the immediate surroundings of the Bradley Center, which had just opened a year before. Still though, 14,000 fans did come to watch the Seattle Supersonics play the hometown Bucks, and let me tell you, these fans were in for a show as the game would go into 5 overtimes. Yes, you heard that right. So it's not a triple overtime game, not a quadruple overtime game, it was a quintuple overtime game. Quintuple. I had to look that word up. Just kidding, but the Bucks had a well-balanced team led by Jack Sikma and Alvin Robertson that would eventually finish with a 44-38 record, while Seattle was led by Dale Ellis, who had just come off of making his only All-NBA team the previous season, and the X-Man Xavier McDaniel. This was a back-and-forth game, obviously, but the most impressive part of this 5 overtime forgotten gem is that in this 73-minute game, Ellis sat out only 4 minutes, playing an absurd 69 minutes. 69 minutes, that is almost like playing 2 games in one night. And he would also make the most of these 69 minutes played, as he would lead Seattle with 53 points and 7 rebounds. And side note slash fun fact here, the man who holds the second place for the minutes played in a single game record also played in this game, as Xavier McDaniel finished right behind Ellis with 68 minutes played and a stat line of 37 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists. Unfortunately though, despite Ellis and McDaniel's best efforts, Milwaukee would win this game 155-154. What a game! And so with that said, due to the fact that the NBA has become very wary of playing their stars huge minutes during the regular season, and also taking into account that the game would need to go into 5 overtimes at least for someone to break this record, I'm going to go ahead and say that Dale Ellis is pretty safe. Number 6, 8 straight championships. 1960s basketball was overall the decade of the Boston Celtics, but what casual fans might not remember is that when the league first started, the Celtics were actually surprisingly mediocre. Boston actually had a losing record the first 5 years they were in the league, and although things slowly got better after that, they were still just considered above average. Then, that all changed in the 1956 draft when the Celtics made a move that would also change the trajectory of how the NBA would go for the rest of time. But before we keep going, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you don't know already, SeatGeek is an app that takes all of the best ticket prices from around the internet and puts them all in one place for you to get the best deal possible. It's also very easy to choose a ticket because SeatGeek takes every single ticket and scores it from 0 to 100. Another cool thing about SeatGeek is that when you're choosing your ticket, you actually get to see a preview of the seat you're about to buy. Also, SeatGeek just introduced Daily Tap, which, if you didn't know, is basically a way to earn free tickets and discounts to events such as a Post Malone concert. The Daily Tap is completely free and you can enter it every single day, which means if you do not tap that button every day, you are kind of giving up the chance to win free tickets. So guys, if you want the best seats for the best prices, download SeatGeek, the link is in the description below, and use the promo code 2KMike for $20 off your first order. Also, do not forget to use the Daily Tap. I want you guys getting free tickets. I want you guys getting discounts. Again, I mean, there's no reason not to just click this button. It's simple and you could win free tickets. And now, back to the video. Because after a 39-33 record in the 1956 season, Red Auerbach publicly claimed that he thought Bill Russell was the best player in the draft, but there was a slight problem. Boston was nowhere near the top of the draft. However, Red Auerbach had his mind set. He wanted Bill Russell, so he made a big gamble, trading Ed McCauley and the draft rights to Cliff Hagan to the St. Louis Hawks in exchange for the number 2 overall pick and the opportunity to select Bill Russell. Now, in hindsight, obviously this looks horrible for St. Louis, but at the time it didn't seem that crazy. What a bunch of NBA fans might not remember is that McCauley had made 6 straight All-Star games upon being traded and eventually was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, Bill Russell was seen as a complete unknown. He played basketball at the University University of San Francisco, which was not one of the traditional powerhouses and was seen as an offensive liability. Despite this though, of course, the rest is history here. Success was almost immediate, as the Boston Celtics would win the 1957 NBA title in Russell's rookie season, and then would go on to win 8 straight consecutive championships from 1959 to 1966. The reason they were able to accomplish this was in part due to Red Auerbach's emphasis on teamwork and running the ball on the fast break. Two things that, in an era statistically dominated by Wilt Chamberlain, were clearly ahead of their time. Throw in the fact that the NBA had an average of 9 teams during this time, and that Bill Russell's tenacious rebounding ability and fierce competitiveness made sure that the Boston Celtics never stepped foot on the court without the ultimate desire to win. And then add in Hall of Famers John Havlicek, Bob Cousy, Tom Heinsohn, Casey Jones, Sam Jones, and we truly have a dynasty that will never be matched. AKA, if another team wins 8 straight championships, I will give whoever is listening to this right now my YouTube channel. I'm telling you that right now, you can have it. It's not gonna happen. Number 5, offensive rebounds in a career. I am going to put a disclaimer for our next record because Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell's era did not include offensive rebounds. With that said, sitting at 6,731 offensive rebounds, Moses Malone absolutely owns the offensive rebound record for the NBA, and no one is even close. To put this in perspective, second place on this list is Robert Parrish, a man who played 16,011 games in his NBA career, averaged 28.4 minutes per game during that time. By the way, this was a career that spanned 21 seasons and lasted until Parrish was 43 years old. And still, Robert Parrish finished with only 4,598 rebounds, more than 2,000 less than Moses. To say that Moses Malone was the king of the offensive rebound is an understatement, and to show you just how absurd Moses was when he played, Kevin Pelton of ESPN did a statistical analysis which found that in his first season in the NBA in 1977, Moses' offensive rebounding percentage was 19.8%. That percentage was higher than the entire 2012 Boston Celtics team that made the Eastern Conference Finals. So looking at this record, it really is no surprise to me that it is kind of forgotten, because Moses Malone, a 3-time MVP and one of the best players the NBA has ever seen, is also one of the NBA's most forgotten legends, and so it makes sense that his 5.1 offensive rebounds a game for his career would be largely forgotten. Not on this channel though. Number 4, most consecutive games played. AC Green was a complete anomaly on the Showtime Lakers, as while Magic Johnson, Michael Cooper, and the rest of this dynasty in the 80s were out partying in the insane nightlife of Los Angeles, AC Green was a deeply religious man who was an upstanding citizen of the community and was also someone who didn't really feel the need to party. It was this personal commitment to excellence that helped him obtain one of the most ridiculous records in NBA history, as after missing 3 games during the 1987 season, his second in the NBA, Green never missed an entire game for the rest of his career. Green would play all the way until 2001, and yes, that is right, let me emphasize this, AC Green did not miss a single game from 1987 to 2001. That is ridiculous, that is absurd. I have no idea how this is possible. So sure, while he did only average 9.6 points per game for his career, he was an all-star in 1990, and he did win 3 championships, and you've got to admit here, there's definitely something to be said for having a player that reliable on your team. Night in and night out, you knew AC Green was playing no matter what. And so looking at other people here, again, AC Green did not miss a single game in 14 straight seasons. That's 1,192 games. The closest anybody has gotten recently is Tristan Thompson, and he got to 447. That is not even halfway to Green's record. To me, that speaks for itself. This record is just, it's not getting broken. Number 3, 11 championships as a head coach. Yes, it is very unlikely that anyone will ever break Phil Jackson's 11 career NBA titles as a head coach, due to the fact that Jackson's new age vision and unique leadership style was actually very similar to Red Auerbach's. Jackson was decades ahead of his time with his Zen approach to the game and the triangle offense. And as for Jackson's own words as to his approach for coaching, he said, "I think the most important thing about coaching is that you have to have a sense of confidence about what you're doing." And guys, that's really the bottom line here. Phil Jackson crossed paths with 2 of the biggest alpha males the league has ever witnessed with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Managing egos of that caliber must have been one of the most difficult tasks an NBA head coach has ever had to do, and we saw in Los Angeles that things did not always go smoothly, as again, egos are hard to manage and Shaq and Kobe just could not coexist. However, despite this, Jackson always remained confident, stating that his secret was simply, quote, "I was confident and I knew what I was doing." He also has said, "You have motivated players that you draft. That's where they come in, and those are the guys that are competitive. You cannot teach competitiveness." And looking back, having Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant really gives you two of the most competitive men to ever step foot on this planet Earth. So I can understand why Phil Jackson really believes in the power of competitiveness. Number 2, most minutes played in an NBA playoff career. LeBron James' consistent approach to success on the floor helps him crack our list with an unbreakable record, as currently, despite the fact that he is still playing, LeBron already has the record set for most minutes played in NBA playoff history. And of course, the man is just 34 years old and plays like he's 28. Looking back, the Cavs were struggling to say the least when Cleveland was blessed with the #1 overall pick in the 2003 draft. And of course, success did not come immediately, as the teenage-led LeBron James Cavaliers missed the playoffs in 2004 and 2005. However, this proved to be just a bump in the road, as starting in the 2006 postseason, LeBron made the playoffs for 13 straight seasons, and in the process, again, set the record for most minutes played in an NBA playoff career. Currently, he does only sit 679 minutes ahead of second place Tim Duncan, but of course, what makes this record unbreakable is that the man is still going. And now that Anthony Davis has touched down in Los Angeles and the Lakers are in a must-win now mode, the odds that in the next few seasons the Lakers will be in multiple playoffs and that LeBron will be racking up these playoff minutes is very, very high. And number 1, free throws made in the NBA Finals. Currently, Jerry West holds the NBA Finals free throw record with 455 made free throws total. The next closest is Bill Russell with 321, and the closest active player is LeBron, who has 257, almost 200 behind Jerry West. Doing the math here, LeBron has made the NBA Finals 9 times in his career, which means he's made an average of 28.55 free throws a finals. That means that in order to break Jerry West's record, he would need to keep up these averages while also making the NBA Finals another 7 times. That is not happening. I'm just gonna say it right now. It's not happening. And again, players that played earlier on in the NBA with less teams did have a huge advantage here, because if you played on a really good team, you had a very good chance of making the NBA Finals more, just based on the fact that there were not as many teams. With that said, I also think now is a good time to mention that Jerry West is the only NBA player in history to win a Finals MVP on a losing team. Because yes, when looking back at Jerry West's career, he did make the Finals a lot of times. I'm talking he made the Finals 9 times, and he only won the Finals once. Jerry West was 1-8 in NBA Finals play. Yikes. You can't really blame Jerry for going 1-for-8 though, as just look at the 1969 Finals, a series that saw Jerry average 37.9 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 7.4 assists a game at the age of 30, as the Lakers would lose to the Celtics by 2 in Game 7 of the Finals. It was the 1969 Finals where Jerry West was given the NBA Finals MVP on the losing team, making him the only player to ever achieve that accomplishment. And after the Lakers lost, John Havlicek would walk up to Jerry and say, quote, "Jerry, I love you," which goes to show you how much respect was had for Jerry West by his biggest rival, the Boston Celtics. And it is also possible that this is another record that will never be broken, winning the NBA Finals MVP on the losing team. And there we have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. During the NBA season, we are posting 3 videos a week on the main channel. The goal is to be posting every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, but I might be posting tomorrow on Wednesday. We'll see. Regardless, you are going to be getting 3 videos a week on this channel, I promise you. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. As always, have an awesome day, and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here. And other than that, guys, again, have a great day and peace.